For this chapter, we will be looking into creating an app from scratch. And if you are creating an app from scratch, it's very important to realize what data you're going to work with. So what is the information that you're trying to transform into something visual? That is a topic we usually call information architecture. And for the purpose of this very basic app that we're going to produce, let's just quickly have a look at the information we're going to show on the app before we start actually designing it. So in order to do that properly, let's just start a new file for now where we can brainstorm a little bit on what we are going to build. So the idea here is that we're going to build a recipe app. Recipes, as you know, they always have ingredients, they have like a time to cook, an amount of servings and all those sort of things. So let's just write them down quickly. So I choose T to, of course, start the text tool again. So we have our recipe app, and our recipe app will have a list of recipes. Next to that, our app will have a detailed screen with the specific recipes that you can see more information about. So we'll have a detailed view of a single recipe. And maybe as a nice touch, we will also have a splash screen. And then inside these, all these screens, we will have the recipe in various shapes and forms. And in order to start with getting a grip on what information we're going to show, so let's just say we're going to give each recipe a name. So it will have a name. Next to that, it will also have a time to cook. That might be very relevant if you need to go out to do an exercise quickly, or you don't have a lot of time, then it might be needed to find a recipe that has a short time to cook. And maybe if you have some more time, you want to cook with friends, then you want to find a recipe which has a longer time to cook, because it's nice to be around other people for a while. And then something else that might be interesting is the amount of servings that the recipe is going to give you, approximately. Of course, next to that, it always really creates the appetite if there's a nice picture of food. So let's just add that in there as well. Picture of food. And of course, the recipe also has a long description in terms of instructions, what you have to do. So let's call that instructions. Of course, there's something missing here, and that is the ingredients itself. But for the purpose of this workshop, I will skip the ingredients and just look into these items. So let's write down ingredients here. So now we have sort of a very rough and very simple, very basic information architecture of what we're going to create. So let's get started with the actual app.